Hello, welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. We have 3 stories for you today. You're going to school me? Please do so. I want my ketchup. And no leggings? No problem. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Alright, let's get started. Our first story. You're going to school me? Please do so. Okay, so I was born and raised in the US and have always had a fascination with Ireland. I do have Irish ancestry, but my family has never been one to be vocal about it. We didn't do the stereotypical Irish American St. Patrick's Day stuff, hang Irish flags, or put Irish blessings on the wall. I guess I got my love for Ireland looking through books. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents when I was younger, and they had a set of books about different countries. I would spend all day looking through the one on Ireland. The gorgeous landscapes, the stone walls, the cottages, it all fascinated me. When I was around 4, my grandparents, knowing my fascination with Ireland, gave me an illustrated book of Irish legends as a birthday gift, and it quickly became my favorite book of all. I would always ask them to read me stories from it, and my favorite was the story of Tr na. As I got older, my interest in Irish history and culture never waned, and I was determined to make it over there one day, and I'm happy to say I have accomplished the goal many times over now. Many of my friends there are like family to me, and we keep in close contact. Now, this was over a decade ago, but one weekend a friend and I were just grabbing some lunch and drinks at a local pub, and he was asking me about places to see in Ireland because I had just gotten back from there the previous week. I named a few spots, and this guy on the other side of me, who is old enough to be my dad, decides to butt in. Have you even been to Ireland? Said with a tone that suggests I have no business giving my friend advice on the subject. Me, yes. How many times? Once? Me, twice. Oh. He throws up his hands in mock surprise. Why don't we sit at one of the tables here, and I can school you in Ireland? I smile and happily comply by getting down from my bar stool and sitting in a chair at the low table behind us. As he walks over to the table, I say, As Gaeilge, Sart? In Irish, right? He looks at me like I've got 3 heads. I decide to start throwing some of his own shade back at him and say it more slowly, As Gaeilge, Sart? Now, one of the things that I did before my first trip was take Irish language classes at our local Irish Cultural Center. The classes were taught by a woman who was a native speaker from Connemara. I had also made a lot of friends with native speakers from West Kerry and Galway from my trips there, and they helped me with my Irish. He still stands there clueless, so with casual sarcasm I say, Oh, I figured that since you were about to school me in Ireland, it would only be fitting that we have the conversation in Irish. Certainly, an expert such as yourself would have no trouble with that. The look of defeat on his face was priceless. The condescending attitude quickly disappeared like the air escaping from a deflating balloon. His shoulders drooped, and he hung his head as he walked away without saying a word. My friend laughed his ass off, and we went back to our conversation. I've made 5 more trips to Ireland in the years since then, and the only disappointing part of any of them is not being able to stay longer. TLDR, guy here's a friend and I talking about Ireland and speaks condescendingly to me, telling me he's going to school me about Ireland. He gets knocked off his pedestal when I speak to him in Irish and he can't speak it. Our next story. I want my ketchup. This happened years ago, but I still get a smile when I think about it. I worked retail, and we had a customer who wrote a long, scathing letter because she left her ketchup behind. She was a repeat complainer who was fishing for gift cards, knowing it was our policy to give them as thanks for your business. This time my boss tossed the letter to me and told me it was my turn to take care of her. I thought it best to give her exactly what she wanted without the reward. I got the largest box I could find, put a single bottle of ketchup inside, and filled it with those annoying styrofoam packing peanuts, as many as I could force into the box, ensuring there would be overflow when the box was open. I shipped it to her. We never heard from her again. And our last story. No leggings? No problem. I was just reminded of this situation because some creepy dad over in Ida got all hung up on his daughter showing off her assets by wearing leggings to church. Anyway, I briefly worked in a repair shop for a luxury watch company. The dress code stated that you couldn't wear leggings. Cool, I'm not a pants or leggings person. Doesn't bother me. One day I wore a cute gray dress and a pair of leggings under it. Let me also just quickly say that we had to dress up even though we put a lab coat over our clothes and were never customer facing. I heard some chattering from a few of the older employees about leggings but ignored them because clearly they were overreacting, right? How is this different than wearing pantyhose? Because my feet aren't enclosed? I'm minding my business, and a few hours later, my manager comes over and pulls me aside. She walks me to the locker room and tells me I am being asked to go home and change because I'm wearing leggings. People have complained. I'm floored, y'all. I live an hour away, and you want to send me home because I have them on under a dress? I just looked at her, unbuttoned my lab coat, kicked off my flats, ripped my leggings off, and put my coat back on. Right in front of her. Dress code compliant with no gas money spent. I had an awful case of chub rub by the end of the day, but everyone finally shut up. Person shrugging, brown skin, just ridiculous. Edit. Since 40 of you are going to ask individually instead of reading other comments, chub rub is when your chubby thighs rub together and chafe. It is a fairly common term, in the States, for a regular phenomenon that affects the majority of women who don't have a thigh gap. It has nothing to do with a penis. Edit number 2, please don't inbox me for legging photos, pervs. The answer is no. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.